Well, today the talk is in living color, and of course it is Pride Month. And so in living color is a perfect conversation for today. And I just wanted to share a quote from the Science of Mind, and I don't have my glasses handy, so hopefully I can read this. I just left it in my textbook because, that makes it easier, right? So the quote is, think of the whole world as your friend, but you must also be the friend of the whole world. In this way, and with this simple practice, you will draw to you so many friends that the time will be too short to enjoy them all. Refuse to see the negative side of anyone. Refuse to let yourself misunderstand or be misunderstood. Know that everyone wants you to have the best. Affirm this whenever you go, and you will find things just as you wish them to be. So the idea is that as we begin to view the world from this place of oneness, this place of love and friendship and kindness, what we start to see is that we begin to exude a different kind of energy moving forward. And as we do that, we discover how joyful life can really be. So today, when we talk about this idea of in living color, I want to share a quote from The Color Purple by Alice Walker. And this was pretty good, I thought. So she says, God is inside of you and inside of everyone. You come into world with this universal intelligence, but only them that search for it inside find it. And sometimes it just manifests itself even if you're not looking, or you don't know what you're looking for. Trouble for most folks, I think sorrow, feeling bad. I ask. Don't look like nothing, she says. It ain't a picture show. It ain't something you can look at apart from anything else, including yourself. I believe God is everything. Everything that is or ever was or ever will be. And when you can feel that and be happy to feel that, you found it. So that idea that, God is everywhere, God is all that there is, that idea that this infinite spirit, this divine energy, is life itself, and it's right here. So we can draw on it. Like we can use it consciously to create the life that we would like to be living. If there's any area where we're feeling a little, we can begin to use this teaching to open our minds and our hearts and to see ourselves as we really are, instead of how we think we might have been, or, judging from what people have said to us in the past or whatever. We've bought into some ideas. I remember my mom always saying, would you just shut up? And here I am, chat. Obviously, I'd never really listened to her. But the reality is that we hear things as little children, and we begin to carry those things forward. Everything that happens in that first 7 years, we're carrying forward. And it's kind of like having a great big backpack on. And that backpack is getting really heavy, because as we go through all these experiences, some of which are traumatic, we're filling that backpack most often with the negative rather than the positive. Why do we do that? I don't know. But when we're in living color, what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to be seen, regardless of what is going on in our life, regardless if we're gay or straight or what. We're always in that place of knowing that who I am is enough, just like the song we sang. How could anyone ever see you less than whole? And what happens is when we look at people, we're looking not just with our eyes, we are actually looking with our consciousness, our belief system. And as we're looking at things outside of us, we're judging it based on who we are, not who they are. that make sense? Yeah. Because what happens is so for example, one of the big stories that, I heard growing up and I saw growing up was that, you have to be really slim to be acceptable. And that was kind of drilled in. And what happened is all through my life, didn't matter what size I was, I would always look at myself as being the wrong size. It was, I'm too big, I'm too big, I'm too big. When I weighed 115 pounds, I didn't say that, but when I hit 120, which is low for my size and my bone structure, I still was saying, I'm too heavy, I'm too heavy. So we're telling these stories inside our heads. And then when we see something out here, we have a judgment about it. So I've grown into a more spectacular space and I'm owning it. That's living in color. That's going, you know what? This is who I am. This is how I look today. And you know what? I'm okay. Regardless, I'm okay. And so we start to tell new stories. And as we change those, we begin to see the world around us differently. Because I remember years ago looking at someone who was my size going, oh my God, like, why don't they do something about it? Well, I'm trying to do something about it, but I'm not really getting anywhere. So I had to come to a place of going, you know what? It just is what it is. Let it be. It is what it is. And so the journey that we're on is really about self-acceptance, to know that we are created in the image and likeness of the one. I mean, what does that say to us? We believe we're all one, and then we act as though we're separate. We believe that we're all one, and then we decide that, my spouse is a pain in the butt. We see ourselves as one, but then we judge and we criticize and we look outside ourselves. And I think we do that sometimes because of the fear that's going on inside of us, that if we project that, oh, that person's less than me, phew, I can feel better. But what if we just feel better? What if we just decide, you know what, I'm enough. There's absolutely nothing I need to think, say, or do. I just need to love me as I am, where I am, and accept all that is going on around me. It is what it is. And you see, what has been created already can't be changed, right? Sometimes we don't forgive because that person did that thing. They said that thing. They caused us pain. They did whatever they did. And so I can't forgive that, which means I'm now dragging that very heavy backpack and it's starting to weigh me down. It's so heavy, filled with all the resentments and the guilt and the shame and the regrets and the embarrassment and whatever I've got going on that I've carried with me. I've got it in this backpack and it weighs a ton now. Because now as I get older, I'm like, man, I can't even lift this thing anymore. What we have to do is set it down. Set it down, let it go. When we're looking backwards, we cannot create. And the reason we can't create is because back there doesn't exist. And if we're projecting into the future, one day I'll be this, and one day this will happen, and one day that will happen, again, we're caught because that doesn't exist either. So what does exist is now. How I talk to myself now, how I think about myself now, the things that I say. I mean, think about it. Some of the things we say in our head, if somebody out there said that to us, we would be livid. We would be so angry with them. How dare you talk to me like that? Wouldn't we? Yeah. So I had an experience like that, which I thought was terribly funny. My husband was furious when I told him, but I was still laughing because I'm like, holy man, did I create that? So we always talk about that what you think about comes about. All right. Now, sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it happens fast. So this one happened fast. And I'm driving home. It's late. It's probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. We haven't had dinner yet. And Pierre phones me up and he says, look, you know, things are really busy. Just stop at McDonald's and grab something. So I'm like, okay. So I'm driving to McDonald's and in my head, I'm going, man, this is the last place I should be eating. So I pull in and it's one of those ones with 2 lanes. Pull in, I place my order, I pull up, the car beside me pulls up at the same time. We're nose to nose. And she actually gets out of her car and says, look at you, this is the last place you should be eating. And I just went, whoa, you're evil. But after she left and after I was driving through, I thought, oh man, I missed the perfect opportunity. And the perfect opportunity was, sweetheart, you keep eating here, you could look like this too. But I thought of that after the fact. But the whole time as I'm getting my food, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that was so fast. That happened so, I mean, I can't even imagine somebody getting out of their car to insult somebody else. But there she was. And I thought it was exactly what I had thought driving in. So how could I be mad at her? Really? How could I hold a judgment against her? When I got home, my husband was furious, but we are creating all the time. What are the stories that we're telling ourselves? What are the stories that we're creating about other people? I heard something last night that just, was so sad, but it was handled so well. Genevieve has a really close friend who's now in university, who is trans. And this young man is just a treasure, like just such a beautiful human being. So his best friend, somebody for years and years and years and years, all the way from elementary school up, sent him a text saying, I don't believe in this. I believe it's all false, that it comes from some kind of a trauma or whatever, but it's not real. And so having surgery or doing anything like that is destroying your health and destroying your body and blah, blah, blah. Went on and on and on. And so he responded back and talked about how throughout his whole childhood, the hell he was living in. And that the transformation that he will go through at some point gave him joy and freedom. The minute he stepped into that new idea, it was like, yes, life is good. And the friend went and sent something else back and he didn't respond to it. He responded very well and very eloquently to that first message. We can't change people's minds. And that's not what we're here to do. What we're here to do is just accept that whatever your journey is your journey. It's none of my business. I'm here to love you. Not where I want you to be, not where I would like you to be, not where I think you should behave or how you should act. I need to just accept you as you are. And that's challenging for us, isn't it? Because we look around and we do have judgments. We do have feelings of, could that be right? Like, what's going on? We have all these questions that we don't really have answers to. And so we sit here and we continue to do our best to live our own experience. We're moving today, today, tomorrow. Been packing all week doing this stuff. And as we're moving, the movers come on Tuesday, but tomorrow we'll move a bunch of smaller things over. And what's fascinating to me is that the place that we're living in is really, really beautiful. I mean, it is spectacular, but it's small, too small for us. And we found something bigger. I went to the new place yesterday morning to get the keys and do a walkthrough. And oh my gosh, I am so in love with this new place. The landlord is amazing. Like, this man is really, really wonderful. And when I think about the landlord I currently have, who was like, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other thing. You can't hang pictures on the wall. Well, I have a lot of art, most of it original. It's hanging. So when she came and did a walkthrough a couple of weeks ago, you know, she thanked me for taking such good care of the place. And then she turns to her husband and goes, they weren't supposed to hang anything on the wall. And even when we were coming in to rent this place, there was just a tension with her. It's like, this is her house, but she thinks it's her home. She has a new home. This is the home of whoever moves in, right? So it was fascinating to just listen to her. But this person who we're renting from now is just joyful. And, you know, he was asking me about the dog. Well, he's got a great big Burmese mountain dog or something. So bigger than my dog. And when you start to feel a different energy, I was speaking to Pierre last night, who's out in some far off place near Collingwood somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember all the names of the towns here in Ontario, but we were talking last night, and the more we talked, the more excited I got. I'm so excited for this move. And the house is not as spectacularly appointed as the one I'm in, but man, it feels good. It feels like home, and we're not even in it yet. It still feels like home. And so when we meet people and we have a really nice, warm interaction, it changes everything from that moment on. Once I met him, because we were dealing with realtors, so we never met until yesterday morning. And so when we meet people face to face, all of a sudden we can go, yeah, this person means something to me. And I'm excited to be in this place. And I'm looking around going, and I realized the master bedroom wasn't painted. So I sent him a note and he goes, I'll paint it tonight. So he painted it last night. So it'll be ready for us today. The journey that we're on, all of us, is simply to be the best that we can be, to find in our hearts our full and natural expression. And then no matter what anybody says out here, we have to live in that place. Because if we live there through the law of attraction, we will attract into our life more and more good stuff, more and more really, really great stuff. So we want to live in that place of joy. And because it's Pride Month, I wanted to go over the 2S LGBTQIA, so it makes sense to people who maybe don't know what all those letters stand for. And it's a long acronym, but if we were to write out all the words, man, it would take a book. So 2S LGBTQIA is two-spirited, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning. Lesbian, no, I'm back to the beginning. Intersex and asexual. So that's what those stand for. Well, most of us haven't heard that in our whole lifetime, what those words are. I mean, I've been talking about 2S LGBTQIA for a while, but I didn't know what all the letters stood for. I had an idea, but wasn't absolutely positive. The interesting thing about people who have been going through the experience of being a queer person in today's society, if you live in the US, well, you're in trouble. And in many countries, they will kill you. And here, we're allowed to be who we are, but that doesn't mean we'll walk out on the street and everybody will accept us, right? They're not going to. And for us to expect everyone to bow down to me, well, that's unreasonable. It's not going to happen. So we want to find a way to realize that who I am is perfect, whole, and complete, regardless of what people out here have to say about me, about the way I look, about the way I dress, the way I wear my hair. You know, like people will talk about all kinds of things. Sometimes it's people in our family who are doing this. I've had that experience. So whatever's going on for you, what I want to say is that you were created perfect, whole, and complete for the life that you are to live here. You bring something. You bring something to the universe today that no other person can bring. And the only way you can find it, as Alice Walker said, is to look within. So your best friend doesn't know, no need to ask them because they don't know. Your spouse doesn't know, so don't even bother asking them because they haven't got a clue. They probably don't even know who you are, right? They've got a sense of who you are, and they've got a sense of, I mean, I've been married for 23 years, and I guarantee you that there's things that I don't know about Pierre and things he doesn't know about me, right? And so we keep having conversations, which is wonderful because we keep bringing things up and bringing things alive in our relationship. And by doing that, we create a greater sense of joy and harmony as a couple, which we then can share. Like he's off doing his shows this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after, the week. Oh man, he's working all the time. He's not here to help me. Darn. Anyway, the journey that we're on allows us to wake up, to find within ourselves our creative expression, to find within ourselves our real dreams and desires, and then to not procrastinate about them, but to stand up and go, here's what I'd love to do. Do it. Do it. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission to go and do it. Do it now. Do it now. Allow yourself to shine brightly. You have gifts that you don't even know you have, that the world needs right now. We talk about a peaceful world. We talk about healing the world. The way to heal the world is not to do anything out there. It's to do everything right here. And as we work right here, we heal our wounds. And as we heal our wounds, we have love to share. And you can share it everywhere. No need to hold it back. Just share it everywhere. So I tend to walk down the street and tell people I love them. Sometimes when I'm walking with a friend, they're like, what are you doing? But it's all a sense of understanding intuitively what is okay, what is good for me. And for me, I mean, I've got on my wrist, love is the answer. That's what I believe. And I'm not talking about that emotional relationship kind of love. I'm talking about that oneness with the divine, like really experiencing the beloved, not outside of me, not off somewhere in the clouds, but right here. And it's the cells of my body. It's the activity of my mind. It's the circulation of my blood, all of it. This is God stuff. And so as I live from there, I begin to feel a deeper sense of freedom. In the Science of Mind, it says it should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and to express freedom, to be in accord with divine law and wisdom. That was Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind. So it's time for us to recognize that being happy is our birthright. Woohoo! Time to party. Are you ready to party? Time to have a party, to have a good time, to begin to laugh and sing and play. Doesn't matter how busy you are. Doesn't matter if your body aches. Just get up and do this thing. Allow yourself to be who you were created to be. I've got a dancer coming in a couple of weeks because there's another creative expression that is so beautiful that we really want to honor that we start to see that, yeah, we're in a spiritual setting, but we're spiritual beings, and spiritual beings, they laugh, they sing, they dance, they play, they even have sex. My apologies. The journey that we're on is really to wake up. The way we're created is right. You want to know why soldiers come back with so much PTSD? Because killing people is not in our, that's not in our heart space. That's not natural for us to do. Now, is there the odd, psychopath out there who thinks it's fun? Probably. But for the average human being, which is the majority of the population of the world, it is something that goes against our divine nature. And because it goes against our divine nature, when we are doing stuff like that, because we have to, when we come back, we have to live with it. And that can be extremely difficult. So, to wrap up, despite the challenges and hardships experienced from, oppression or marginalization, whatever, in celebration of living in color, it's a great time to embrace the joy that's inside of us. No matter the circumstance, there's always a reason to be joyful. Always a reason to be joyful. Coming from the Universal Joy Center. Funny. Imagine that. So we have a right to enjoy living. As Ernest Holmes says, we have the power to live each day as if it's the best day ever. Can you imagine getting out of bed in the morning and going, this is the best day ever? And then you get out of bed and you go, okay, now what? What am I going to do today? And you start to, the sun is shining. Let me go for a walk, or let me go down to the beach, or what am I going to do? Let me phone some friends and sit out in the backyard and have a beer or something and just chat and get to know each other better. Life is for us. So I invite you to live it and live it joyfully. All right, so let's join together in consciousness as we close off this talk. So I breathe, and every breath is a connecting breath to all that has ever been. Because as I breathe in the essence of everyone around me. And as I breathe out, I share the essence of myself. And that breathing has carried us through generations. And it moves us in ways that really are truly indescribable. But as we find our voice, our passion, our purpose, as we begin to awaken to that divine nature within us, we start to see the beauty of this moment, the beauty of life, and we begin to live it with grace. This truly is a moment to celebrate. And so I accept and know that all is well, and I live from that understanding and knowing with a truly grateful heart. I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.